BuckeyeHuddle.com. Our Southern Swing continues here in Central Florida. We're in Orlando at Jones High School. Vernell Brown.
How's it going?
How are we doing today?
Good, man. Appreciate you guys coming down to see me.
Yeah, getting ready for spring practice here.
Yes, sir.
What's been your focus this spring? Obviously, there's always room for improvement. You're a guy who's super hot on the recruiting trail right now. Like, you got a lot of offers, interest, and your rankings seems to continue to rise. But I'm sure there's things you're working on with your game.
I would say the biggest thing is just understanding the importance of practice and making sure my practice habits mimic the game situation. That way when the game comes, it's second nature, and then being that leader and that player coach for my teammates, helping better them as well.
Yeah. You had a great camp season, like spring camps, 7-on-7. So you had a great spring. A lot of the rankings people, I think, started to take notice of you and move you up. Obviously, the rankings aren't the end of it, it's not the end all be all, but did you feel some type of chip on your shoulder with maybe how you were ranked coming into some of these camps? And
right, absolutely. I definitely didn't like the way the rankings were, and I still think I could be a little higher, but honestly, I wasn't really too worried about the rankings. Just continue doing what I've always done, putting in the hard work, and I knew it'll eventually pay off.
Yeah, you guys, we were just at Mandarin for Jamie French, and he's, you guys are obviously a great tandem on 7-on-7. He's kind of hoping to play with you at the next level. How serious are those conversations? I mean, is it just kind of talk, or is there something maybe more to that? I mean,
definitely, James is a great guy, great person. I definitely would love to play with him at the next level if it works out. Now, obviously, that wouldn't be, my process and his process are two completely different things. But if it all works out, I would definitely love to play with him at the next level.
Now, you're a really versatile guy. You even play defense, you can play defensive back, but it looks like recruiting right now is pretty much on offense at this point. That's what you're kind of focused on. Inside, outside, doesn't matter. How do you kind of view that as far as your receiver position at the next level?
I mean, I would say it doesn't matter. Just wherever I'm in the best position to make a play, I can play anywhere on the field, inside, outside, wherever you need me, even in the backfield, just anywhere.
Obviously, Ohio State's been recruiting you very hard. Coach Hartline's been recruiting you very hard. You were up at the end of March, Student Appreciation Day. You got to see that practice, got to see some things around Ohio State. What were some things about that visit that stood out to you, or anything that kind of surprised you or jumped out?
I mean, I would say the biggest thing is that atmosphere, really great atmosphere. I know people always talk about the fan base and how crazy it is, but just the student appreciation, seeing the students walk in with all the signs, it definitely enjoyed it.
Yeah. What is it about Ohio State? Because they're kind of an outlier on your list. It's a lot of Florida schools and then Ohio State. What has allowed them to, I guess, enter that race for you when it just seems like it's all the other Florida schools and Ohio State's a bit of an outlier? What is it about them?
I mean, I would say just when it comes to checking all the boxes, they check all the boxes as far as this system, the school, everything else. They check all the boxes. So I think that's definitely what keeps them in the race.
And that kind of seems like the decision you're eventually going to have to make is stay at home and somewhere in the state of Florida, go out, branch out to like a place like Ohio State. How difficult of a decision will that be just from a geography standpoint?
I mean, at the end of the day, it wouldn't be that big of a decision. I mean, it's only a 2-hour flight, so it's the only difference is you're flying instead of driving, so it doesn't really make it that big of a difference.
Coach Hartline, obviously a big factor in your recruiting process on the Ohio State end of things. I think we're expecting him here today at some point, right?
Yes.
So we'll see him out there, I guess. How is that relationship? What are some, what is Coach Hartline like, and how big of a factor is he in your recruiting process?
I mean, a really good relationship with Coach Hartline. I think we connect very well with each other. We both see things the same, similar perspectives. So, yeah, I mean, really great relationship.
Obviously, Ohio State's done very well with the wide receiver position under Coach Hartline, sending guys to the NFL. First of all, is that something I'm sure you've probably noticed, but is there a guy that you've watched at Ohio State that you either enjoyed watching or try and pattern some things after, kind of anything like that?
I mean, one I really like watching was Chris Olave. I just love the way he played the game. I mean, he plays fast, he plays smooth. So, yeah, I loved everything about the way he plays and definitely watched him.
How much of a factor is something like that where you kind of see Coach Hartline taking guys, some of them were 5 stars, some of them weren't, and kind of molding them into NFL players? Is that, I mean, how much of a thing does that drive you in terms of Ohio State and the interest there?
I mean, at the end of the day, I think it just helps them more. It's proof, living proof of people who've been there and done it and done it at the level that in which I'm trying to do.
Yep.
So.
You've got your official visits, I think, all lined up for June. Could you kind of talk us through where you're going?
The first weekend, May 31st, I'll be at Ohio State. Then I have one scheduled to Miami for the 11th through the 13th, and then Florida the 14th through the 16th, so back-to-back visits, and then I'll finish it out with Florida State on the 21st through the 23rd.
Okay. What would you need to see, I guess, specifically on the Ohio State visit? It's not like you've never been up there. Is there something that's like, is there like a missing link or piece you need to see on the official, or is there, what is it?
I mean, I wouldn't say there's anything missing, you know, just continue learning more about the program and continue checking boxes and ultimately making my decision.
When you go on these other, you're going to go like 4 back-to-back, how are you going to be able to reflect on things? Like some visits look like you're leaving from one and you're going straight to the next.
Right.
Are you going to take some time maybe after to reflect and kind of, how are you going to compare all these schools?
I mean, absolutely. You know, I think after just reflect with my family after each visit, and then at the end of them all, I think just taking a few weeks and sitting down with my family and really figuring out what do I think is best for me.
Are you looking at July, yes, August time
mid to
frame?
late July, early August.
For a decision?
Yes.
Okay. But yeah, again, like your dad played at Florida. How much of an impact is that on your recruiting process? You know, from talking to you previously, it sounds like Dad's kind of letting you do your thing. Mm-hmm. But, you know, how much of that is, you know, you have the ties there?
I mean, it doesn't really mean anything. I think when it comes to finding the best situation for me, I don't think the people before me should really have an impact. At the end of the day, it's my decision and where I want to go. So.
How does Dad feel about? How does that feel about Ohio State, for example? I mean, has he had a chance to get up there? Has he had a chance to talk to the coaches? I mean,
yeah. I mean, from his perspective, it's totally up to me. He just wants to be supportive wherever I go.
Yeah, and you know, Florida State's in there as well. You know, let's backtrack to Florida here real quick. What are some things you like about Florida, though? Obviously, this is your recruiting process, so. Oh my goodness, we have a Coach Hartline sighting, so. Quietly, what do you like about Florida?
I mean, great program. The receiver development is unmatched. I mean, I think it's proven when you see Ricky Pearsall went first round. So yeah, really good job with developing receiver. Really like the direction the program is heading. They just have to put it together on the field.
Yep. Florida State, another program that's doing some good things offensively with their receivers. What do you like about Florida State? How's the connection there?
I mean, the system's great. The staff is really good. They've been on me early and been on me hard ever since. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I mean, really like that program as well, the direction they're heading in, and just looking for some more playmakers, and hopefully I could be that.
And then Miami obviously has had some success recruiting South Florida Express guys, maybe some guys you know down there, I'm sure. What is it about Miami that stands out?
I mean, they're also a good program who's definitely trending upwards. Coach Beard's a really great guy. He's been on me ever since the 7-on-7 I did there, and yeah, man, great program.
Okay. Last thing, and then we'll let you get out to the practice field here. We know you gotta practice to get into.
Right.
You have a lot of South Florida Express guys up at Ohio State that have been through it now for a year or two. They kind of know what the deal is up there. How much do you lean on them for feedback on how things really are at Ohio State? What have they been able to share with you?
I mean, I asked them a few questions here and there, but don't want to ask them too much because obviously our situations would be different either way. So yeah, just ask them kind of the general questions, and I think that'll help me make my decision as well.
What is the feedback from them generally? You know, I don't get into everything, but like, what are they telling you about what it's like up there, and is it positive feedback?
Right, yeah, definitely positive feedback. Everybody's up there having a good experience, so yeah, definitely positive feedback.
And I lied. I got one more for you. You know, Jeremiah Smith obviously is making a lot of headlines right now with the spring he had. I guess how interesting or cool is that for you to see him get out there as a freshman? Clearly he's going to play. I mean, how cool has that been for you to see, and are you surprised?
Right now, I mean, you see what he did his last year of high school, so always been a great player, you know, and just continuing to show off his skills, and definitely shows that if you're good enough, you can play day one there.
All right, Vernell, we appreciate your time, man. Good luck here the rest of spring. Have a great time on all your visits coming up. Good luck on those, and I'm sure we'll catch up with you soon, man.
Yes, sir.
All right.